I officially welcome you to our webinar session today. Today's event is the fifth in our new series of axiUm webinars for 2015 entitled Best Practices for Large Dental Organizations. Our topic today is providing online access to schedules and patients, how to make a connection with DoctorAccess. We thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us today. And as usual, we promise to make good use of your time, so let's get started. Today's webinar is brought to you by DoctorAccess. Part of the Health Access suite of products, DoctorAccess is a web application that lets providers access their schedules and messages at or away from the dental clinic. It allows them to plan ahead and prepare for clinic appointments using a desktop, tablet, or smartphone. With DoctorAccess, providers are able to check appointment details and patient information and exchange messages with patients, faculty, administrators, or other providers. So let's take a deeper look at the concept of staying connected and why it's so important from a provider's perspective. The examples you'll see today are based on the smartphone version of DoctorAccess. Keep in mind that due to privacy laws that protect the sharing of patient information and electronic health records, the software examples you'll see today use fictional data and patient names. So let's get started. Let's begin with the first question. That is, who benefits from using DoctorAccess in a dental clinic or a dental school clinic? Well, it's the providers or student providers who get the most benefit from using DoctorAccess. With DoctorAccess, providers can safely connect to the dental clinic or dental school whenever they want, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And when providers benefit, your entire dental organization ultimately benefits. DoctorAccess allows them to review their axiUm schedules at any time they want from wherever they happen to be. Providers can also see their clinic time exceptions, so if needed they can adjust their schedules and they can add new non-clinic times. They can review ahead of time which patients they're seeing and what treatments they'll be performing. They can also communicate via messaging with their patients, their instructors, and their peers, thus allowing providers to be more prepared before the appointment. And it's important to note that you're able to control the information they see with advanced security features without having to worry about violating privacy regulations. The next question is fairly simple. Why would DoctorAccess matter to a dental school or a dental organization? First, I would start by asking these questions. Are your providers or students frequently unprepared for appointments? Or even worse, are they late or altogether missing appointments? Or are your providers still manually writing patient information on slips of paper because they're unable to communicate with patients outside of the clinic? And has your organization been in danger of violating privacy regulations around protected health information because a provider lost that slip of paper? If you answered yes to at least one or more of these questions, then DoctorAccess does matter to your dental organization. After all, providers can ultimately offer better care to patients when they are prepared and ready. We mentioned earlier that with DoctorAccess, providers have the ability to view appointments anywhere, anytime. Now we'll show you some examples of how a provider might use this to their advantage. Let's assume I am a student provider at a dental school. It's a Monday night and I'm at home. I want to know what my schedule looks like tomorrow. So I log into DoctorAccess using my smartphone. Here I can see my axiUm schedule showing my next day's appointments. I can also click on any day of the week to see the appointments for that day, or click on the calendar to select a day I want to view. But I'll just close this and stay on Tuesday. This data appears in real time, so any changes made to my schedule at the clinic's front desk are visible from my mobile device. Note that I can see both my non-clinic and clinic times, and I can also see at a glance what clinic I need to be at, what chair number, the patient's name, the status of the appointment, and even appointment indicators. For example, here I can see that my 9 a.m. appointment has been confirmed, and the indicator showing an approval is required. I can also view the details of the appointment by clicking on it. Here I see detailed patient information such as the patient's chart number, their photo, their preferred language, and the reason for the appointment. From here I can even send a message to the patient which they can view by logging in to Patient Access. And if I scroll through the appointment, On the tabs below, I can see the treatment details with the procedure information and the appointment notes. And I can even add a note to the appointment as well. Knowing this information ahead of time is quite powerful. It allows me as a provider to anticipate and be more prepared for my next day's appointments. As shown in the previous examples, it's not just the appointments that you can see from your phone. You can also see detailed patient information from this screen as well. If I tap on the patient name while I'm on this appointment, I can see not only their name and demographic information, but also contact information, and most important, I can see any critical patient alerts by scrolling further. These are the green alert boxes that are also visible in axiUm. Having access to this information in advance of the appointment is a huge benefit, particularly for a student where there's an additional element of learning. If I tap on the More Info tab, I can also see the same office codes and custom fields that appear in the patient's record in the axiUm patient card, and I can see all this information prior to the appointment regardless of where I happen to be. It allows me as a student provider to plan and prepare for the next day, and if necessary, I can contact the patient before the appointment should I have any further questions. Earlier I mentioned being able to contact a patient. However, providers can also communicate via DoctorAccess with other colleagues or providers who have access to axiUm Messenger. With DoctorAccess Messenger, I can see all of my axiUm messages as well as respond to, forward, and send new messages. I can access the Messenger from any screen by tapping on the top left menu and selecting Messenger. Here I can see a list of my axiUm messages in my inbox. I can decipher between those messages that have been read and those that are unread. Unread messages appear in bold and are indicated with a blue dot. I can also identify urgent messages as they have the orange exclamation mark in front. DoctorAccess also alerts you to urgent messages with the icon on the top right. That icon is also clickable and would take you directly to the urgent messages inbox from any screen. But we'll go back to the regular inbox. With a tap, I can select a message from the list to read it, and from here I can reply to or forward this message by tapping on the blue arrow. In this case, I am forwarding the message to an axiUm user, and I can start typing in a name, and it will pop up a list of users that I can choose from. Note that I can also set the message as high priority if applicable, and I can also carbon copy others in the conversation. Once I've typed my message, I can press send, and the recipient will see it in their axiUm Messenger. What's also nice is that I have full access to all folders just like in axiUm, including my custom folders from axiUm Messenger. So any messages I've saved to my folders, I'm able to retrieve from DoctorAccess. So how does a provider know if a message is from a patient or another colleague at the clinic? It's important that the provider is able to tell the difference between a message from a patient and that from another provider or axiUm user. A patient's name will appear in green in the inbox, whereas messages exchanged with axiUm users appear in black. And what's really important to note is that all messages exchanged in DoctorAccess require patients to log in to their Patient Access account to view those messages. Messages are never sent directly to email, so you don't have to worry that private conversations will be compromised. Now, I'd like to share some feedback provided from a dental organization currently using axiUm DoctorAccess. Dr. Stephen Griffin, Associate Dean for Clinical Affairs from the Baylor College of Dentistry at Texas A&M University, has shared with us how DoctorAccess has improved planning, preparedness, and communication for their providers. Because of the way Baylor is set up and their parent institution locks them down on HIPAA, they have limited availability for access to axiUm from off-site. They discovered, however, that most users were more interested in viewing their schedules rather than actually accessing and working on patient charts from home. So DoctorAccess allows their providers to check for schedule changes or updates from home in the evening or morning, or even from the classroom at 9 a.m. before going in to set up for clinic. Students also communicate with their patient coordinators and/or schedulers through the DoctorAccess Messenger, which is very convenient for both parties. Dr. Griffin commented that their student providers are extremely pleased to be able to access their schedules at any time during the day or night. So 24/7 access is very much a bonus for them. In fact, this was a top request from the dental students. And security assurance. Their IT administration limits their HIPAA liability so that users just have access to the scheduler. Those users that want full axiUm access have tighter restraints on access. So why did Baylor choose DoctorAccess for their providers, and did they look at any other solutions? Well, according to Dr. Griffin, Baylor did not look at any other solutions. They went with DoctorAccess because it is a product of XN that integrates directly with axiUm. Dr. Griffin mentioned that it was also easy to set up and easy for the users to learn. So how many providers at Baylor College of Dentistry use DoctorAccess? Baylor currently allows all dentistry year 3 and 4 students and dental hygiene year 1 and year 2 students to use DoctorAccess. This totals about 275 student providers. In addition, they give 60 residents and 50 faculty and staff access to use it. So a total of approximately 385 users are using DoctorAccess at Baylor. Before we sign off today, let's quickly summarize for you what we covered today. We showed you how axiUm DoctorAccess enables providers and student providers to access their schedules and messages from smartphones, tablets, and desktops. And with DoctorAccess, providers can view a list of all their appointments and the details such as the day, the time, and the type, so they'll never miss an appointment. Providers can view the procedures and the notes associated with an appointment, so they're always prepared and ready, even the night before. And they can see patient data, contact information, patient alerts, and any office codes. This enables providers to have a better understanding of the patient prior to the appointment. They can view and update their non-clinic or free time on their schedules, so they can prepare for lectures, classes, and other non-clinic appointments. And they can exchange messages with other providers, patients, and clinic staff. This allows them to communicate and stay informed and up to date, particularly if there are any last-minute changes or emergencies. And they can do this all from the comfort of their own home or wherever they happen to be, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This sums up our webinar session today. I would like to thank you all for joining us. We hope you found the webinar not only informative and interesting, but useful as well. And we would also like to thank Dr. Stephen Griffin from Baylor College of Dentistry for providing insight on how their student providers use DoctorAccess to view their axiUm schedules 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As always, we invite you to share your comments or feedback on today's webinar topic. Please tell us what you thought and let us know if you have any feedback on today's session or additional ideas on future webinar topics. And for more information about axiUm DoctorAccess, send us an email to axiumsales@xnsoftware.com. Thank you everyone and enjoy the rest of your day.